All right. And thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring our KRIM Community Spotlight program. Good morning, Rim Country. Chris Higgins in the studio. Hope you had a great Halloween last night. Hopefully you had a good time with the kids. Thank you to Sawmill Theaters for their event here last night. Great event, and Andy McKinney from the Hometown Movie Guys, he and I were judges for a costume contest, had a great time, and just like to thank all the Sawmill Theater employees and Craig, the manager, Randy, for all the work they did putting that on, and for all the vendors that came out, the organizations and businesses that were a part of that. So thank you. It was a great time and great costumes as well. So great job, everyone. This morning on our Community Spotlight program, we're going to be talking to District 1 Supervisor Steve Christensen. Good morning, Steve. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good.
There we go.
I'm good.
Getting the switches
You're looking
on.
at the microphone and thinking, uh-oh, it's not on. And so anyway, I'm great. It's a great day, great time of year.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Beautiful.
Thanks for having me.
Beautiful fall weather. I know it is a little cooler. My daughter, she did not like it this morning, heading out for school.
Yeah.
She still hasn't really learned what a coat is for.
Well,
so, I don't know.
This afternoon should be nice for her then.
Yeah, it'll be better this afternoon. This morning, not so nice. What was very nice was the dedication of the Hash Knife statue.
Yes.
Last Friday. And again, just want to thank you for that.
Well, and thank you, the town of Payson, and you know, it took a team and we got it pulled together and really had a great event. It was really great.
Well, and you know, looking at that project, the where it stands, the overall cost. I mean, golly, talk about what I feel is just a real bargain. I mean, you look at what things cost these days, and to do anything, as you know, when the county supervisors, when you're talking about projects, if you can get a project for under $500,000 or $1 million, you're like, yay, all right. So to get that statue, which is just such a wonderful tribute to a big part of the town's history.
Bang for your buck, I'd say.
Yeah.
So for less than the cost of a vehicle, we're able to get something that will last for decades and decades to come. And really, I'm hoping that the school system envelops it and says, hey, let's take some field trips, let's learn some history of the area, let's talk about mail delivery, let's talk about the original Pony Express and what's currently going on with the Hash Knife Pony Express, which is an ongoing. It's been 65 years they've been doing that. Yeah,
it's something. And Hash Knife Captain Mark Reynolds, I think he said 45, 46 years.
Yeah, he and his brother both,
Steve have been
Mark,
doing that.
Been doing it a long time.
Wow.
And before that, it was their father, I guess, and so. It's been going on a long time. It's a great, it's more than a tradition. It's more than a reenactment. It's the real thing.
It is.
So
yeah, what I love, that you can still send pieces of mail. You can send pieces of mail that get carried on the horses by the riders for a portion of the ride, and then delivered to whoever you're sending them to.
Right. It's actual mail delivery. I guess it's the longest existing contract with the post office.
Wow.
In the nation.
Wow, that is cool. Yeah, it was cool. When we were up there last year for the unveiling of the statue in Holbrook, and to see them sworn in. That was the second time. I'd been up there the year prior to watch that. But it's really cool to see all of the riders sworn in as postal carriers.
Postal carriers, yeah.
Yeah.
And what's great is it's all volunteer. These guys spend their own money, their own time to do all of that. And I think it's really worthy to do a shout out to the artist too, Scott Rogers.
Oh, yes.
So the artist now, he's from Utah, and he does this kind of thing. This is his thing. and he's got a lot of really great statues, monuments out there of horses and Indians and different things. And so when he was commissioned by the Pony Express to do this, it was very expensive to do the first one. And I feel that he's just really generous to have given us the price he did to do this duplicate. And the attention to detail is amazing. So if you haven't seen it, come on down. You can drive right into the county parking lot and get out and go over, take some pictures. There's a plaque to read. So
yeah, and it's again located in front of the county complex, the building, county building. Oh my goodness, I cannot. The
Frontier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right off of Frontier, right in front. It's sort of like right across the street from the post office.
Yep. And
so
Thomas Klein Martin, I think, building. It was
we call it the TCM.
TCM. There we go. TCM building. Yeah, and Scott, the sculptor, also told a really great story. He gave some history about himself and his family.
Yeah.
How I think he said his grandfather owned the Strawberry School at one time, the property, and sold it to pay for the birth of like his daughter, one of his daughter's children or something like that. I thought, that's really. So
his family does go back into the Pine area quite a ways. I think he's related to quite a few of the Randalls, and which is the original families that came in. And established Pine. So there's a lot of real history there for him. And he got a little choked up talking about it, and so it's really special for him. I'm glad we were able to all work together on that.
Yes, and also getting it done this year, so the ride coming up probably early February. They're coming into, riding into Payson, Hash Knife Pony Express on the way down to Scottsdale. So it'll be great to have that statue there for their ride this next year.
It's going to be great. Also, we had several donors that gave the town of Payson some money, and then I had two donors. I call them volunteer donors. They donated their time, efforts, and some of their money involving the digging of the footing, the foundation, the forms, rebar, and pouring the concrete, and all the rock work and everything was donated by Levi Amon and Griffin Hurley. Griffin actually is one of the riders, for the Hash Knife, and he's a local guy. I guess it's Hurley Construction. It's in Star Valley, so if you need something done, think of him. Levi Amon, also local family and everything. Does concrete work, so consider them. These guys put a tremendous amount of effort into that and didn't get a dime out of it. So
it was a great collaboration project where a lot of people contributing in some way, and it was great to see that done. So a lot of other projects going on, things happening. Wow, I know. The bridge seems to be coming along.
It looks like it's really accelerating. It's taken a long time to build all of the foundational work and uprights and everything. The places where it lands on both shores, if you will. But now all of the like the structures there now, all the horizontal girders and all that's on there. And I think they're looking at possibly opening it in spring or early summer. So I don't have an exact date, but it's on track for that.
That's really good. I know Randy Roberson, see updates from him. I think,
sure.
And
well, he lives right down there, you know.
He lives right there, yeah.
He lives across the river, we call it. And so now it'll be across the bridge.
Yeah, no, that's, again, a great effort by the county in getting that done.
Yeah, it's a county project that is funded a tremendous amount through the federal government. So the county impact was $3 or $3.5 million. But it's a $26 million project. So
yeah, that's
the kind of thing that will last for decades and decades and decades to come. So build it next year, it'll be $40 million. Build it the year after that, it'll be $50 million. So, you know, you have to at some point say, look, we've got money for it. And unfortunately, it took some tragedies of people drowning, the children and things. So there's been several deaths, and unfortunately, it's just a reality when it comes to funding projects. Projects are looked at from the need, and when people are being hurt, killed, or whatever, then they accelerate that need up. And there's actually was talking with ADOT. ADOT's kind of hard to get a hold of, kind of hard to have a meeting with. But I was able to have a meeting with an ADOT rep recently and was encouraged by a few things. But I said, you know, we could use some guardrails in between Pine and Strawberry, and I can actually think of just a couple spots that would be pretty helpful, because there's no shoulder on a lot of that road, and it's very windy. And if you end up miscalculating or daydreaming or doing whatever you do, distracted driving, you could run off that road and go down the cliff, you know, for a ways. And so a lot of people have been hurt on that road, but it's sort of like, well, it's going to be expensive to fix, so we don't see the real need yet until. So I said, yeah, okay, so we just have to have some more people get hurt, and he's like, unfortunately, that is kind of the way it works. So maybe I'll just keep hammering at it, but just some guardrails would be helpful. Keep people on the road, at least if they end up in a slippery spot or anything. There's a couple spots there where the road takes a quick dash to the left, and if you don't make that, you're running down into the creek. So
yes,
not a good spot.
I know I was talking to a friend recently who's one of their parents was in an accident on that road, and we talked a little bit about what could be done. She recognized that anything that would be done, it would be very, very expensive. But what was very unfortunate, you know, I was thinking about you know, a lot of the recent accidents, and not even going back a ways, because when we moved up here in '99, we lived in Pine, so I was driving that every day to go to work down in Scottsdale. And there was a fatality when we lived up there, I want to say 2001. But it seems like, unfortunately, with the vast majority of the accidents, they involve alcohol. And, you know, somebody that's inebriated, and unfortunately, there's other people that are involved that aren't, you know.
Right, they become a victim of it.
Yes, and it's very, very sad, because as you said, that road can be treacherous on its own.
Yeah, and then if you add the fact that people are driving at night, it becomes more treacherous. And then if they have some sort of a impairment, then you have a real situation there. So.
I know. And this accident with a friend of mine, it happened 1 PM.
Oh dear.
I know. I'm thinking, wow, that's just really not good.
Yeah. So to me, it's one of the more dangerous roads in Gila County, and so I'll keep working on trying to get that improved. But ADOT has, it's a statewide agency that has a lot of roads that either need to be fixed, improved, widened, or whatever. They have like 700 bridges that they maintain. They're always behind the 8 ball when it comes to the amount of money that they have to spend. I did ask about the Lion Springs extension. So that's about three miles. I guess it's about what did I hear? $50 million to do that 3 miles. And so it's very necessary as well. It creates a lot of bottleneck. Traffic-wise, and there's a couple spots that are very windy, very narrow through there as you're first coming close to Star Valley there. And so he said, yeah, it's on track, it's on the calendar. They don't anticipate pulling it off again, because they did that once already. Yes. And he said they're looking at, I think he said 2025 is when they're going to be doing it.
Yeah, I know I just shared a ADOT post on my Facebook page. It said community open house in the spring of 2024. So that's for residents, business owners, to learn more about the project. They did get back environmental studies, so they are moving in that direction. But yeah, the community open house early spring 2024. And then going like for design 2024 to where beginning construction 2025.
Yeah, and so what they're doing, by the way, if you don't know, is they're converting a 2-lane road into 4-lane road,
Yes.
which we have all the way from Payson to Star Valley, and then after the Lion Springs problem, it goes back to 4 lanes. And so
Yes.
we're just going to try and connect all the 4 lanes together with 4 lanes.
Which makes sense. It really, I didn't understand, I never understood. And I know with the Forest Service lands, other property, the environmental studies, where it took them a little longer on that section, but I just, really, it was hard for me to accept, I guess, that you leave a 3-mile stretch where you do, build 4 lanes on one side, 4 lanes on the other, and then because it's been quite a few years now, that it remained just 2 lanes. And then when it got taken off their 5-year plan, that really was mind-boggling because, and as you said, they have so many projects, so many roads, bridges, improvements they have to do all over the state, but they were the ones that did expanded to 4 lanes on both sides, and then they leave the 2 lanes. So it's just good to see that on there, on track. They're working on it, so really can't wait until that's done.
Yeah, that'll be a massive improvement there.
It will be.
It'll keep the flow of traffic better, make things safer.
Yes, safer for sure, because right now I know you talk to first responders, and that area, when they, a call comes in and it's on, 260 in that area, they're just hoping and praying it's not in that stretch. Because access, if it's a really bad accident, traffic starts backing up, it's a busy weekend, access to the accident, it can be horrible.
Well, see, we have a county yard out there, and so that's all impacted. And then everyone that lives at Diamond Point Shadows area, I mean, they flat out decide they're not coming to town on a Sunday. They're not going to come to Payson on a Sunday because the traffic will be backed up for miles.
Yes.
So that's no good.
No. Again, if you're just tuning in or watching on our Facebook page, talking with District 1 County Supervisor Steve Christensen, and learning about what's happening and going on in Gila County. I know this weekend is an event, Saturday, that is a fundraiser and benefit for the Pleasant Valley Veterans Retreat.
Yes, it's a gala.
Gala.
It's going to be at the Majestic, what is it? It's the Majestic Mountain Inn?
Majestic Rim?
No. Majestic Rim Retirement Center on Tyler Parkway.
Yeah.
And right next to the community garden. So it is a fundraiser. I understand there's no more tickets available.
That's great that it's sold out.
Yeah.
That's great.
But you could call, just in case, you call the Majestic Rim, and they're $100 each. It's going to be a fantastic meal, lots of really great speakers, and so it is a fundraiser. And the project over in Young there, the Pleasant Valley Vet Center, is really coming along great. The remodeling, everything. There's been groups used it already. Motorcycle group was in there recently, and so yeah,
that is good. And the number to Majestic Rim, if you wanted to call to check on tickets, that number is 928-474-3912. And again, we believe that tickets, all the tickets have been sold. There were a limited amount of tickets.
I heard yesterday they were all sold. However,
but
check.
You can check just to make sure.
Absolutely.
Just to see.
And also on Saturday, I wanted to let everybody know that if you're interested, the Republican Party, the Gila County Republican Party, which is over there located just off the Beeline, close to where the Deason's Dairy is, right there in the back, is going to be having a chili cook-off. It's like their first annual. It starts at 11. There's going to be some antique cars there and some speakers and stuff. So if you're interested in doing anything like that, come on down to the Republican Chili Cook-Off. And I'm going to be there. So yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Also, I know Veterans Day coming up, and the presentation at the auditorium, high school auditorium. That is, I believe, going to be on not the 11th, but I believe on the 10th.
I think
so
the 10th is what it was.
Veterans Day.
It was on the Friday. the 10th, and then on the 11th, they're actually going to have a ceremony at Green Valley Park, and that'll be at 11. They call it the 11/11.
Gotcha.
You know, because it's actually originally was Armistice Day. Okay, this was established after World War I ended, and World War I ended on November 11th at 11 a.m., I guess. And so they then dedicated that day to Armistice Day, and in the United States here. And that was for quite a while, and then they eventually changed it to Veterans Day. And so, yeah, we're going to have a celebration of veterans and America down at the park on the 11th at 11.
Yep, I see that. That is on the PaysonRimCountry.com website, the Town of Payson Parks and Recreation website. And so, starting at, like you said, 11 a.m. Green Valley. So 2 Veterans Day celebrations that you could go to. Again, one Friday, November 10th, starting at 11 a.m. in the high school auditorium, and then the other one on Veterans Day, November 11th, starting at 11 a.m. in Green Valley Park. So, be great.
You know what else is going on? There's a quilt show coming up at the Matazel Casino this weekend.
That is right. That's
so
right.
check on that.
And yes, because you and the other county supervisors are sponsors of the quilt show.
And so tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow. I go out and I do a selection.
Yep.
So I get to see which one that I like the most personally, or whatever. And so then they get a little special ribbon for that.
Yep. Yeah. That tomorrow. I know I have down 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock for the awards at the quilt show tomorrow. Right. And then that quilt show, I believe is it Saturday?
It's Saturday, possibly Sunday. I don't have that in front of me.
Yep, I have it. No, where is the quilt show? So many things going on.
Well, see, you have a quilt right here. Hey.
I know. And
yeah, November 3rd and 4th, 9 to 5 on the 3rd. 9 to 4 on the 4th.
There we go. At the Matazel Hotel and Casino and the main ballroom there. Yeah, there still, is so much.
We just had a great aerofair, by the way.
Oh, the airfare was amazing.
Yes, so that's been ramped up again. There for a while it kind of wasn't, and so was a sponsor for that as well. And so I was not able to attend because I had a conflict, but anyway, I guess it went really well.
It did.
Lots of aircraft, helicopters, lots of people out there.
Yes, talking to someone on that committee, and they estimated, they were trying to count, but then they also did some shots, like overhead shots, I believe with a drone, of the event, like each hour they took a shot. So they were estimating over 3,000 people out there. Yeah. Where last year, I think it was around, I think they said like 1,800, somewhere in there. So it went really well. Yeah,
and you see all those are great drivers for the economy. Because you get people from out of town, or even the folks in town, they're buying things, they're checking out things. It's interesting stuff. It's things to do. People say, well, there's nothing to do in Payson. That's not true. There's a lot to do.
I know when people say that there's nothing to do, or there's nothing for kids to do, it's like,
actually,
obviously you I guess don't get out much, or you're just not aware of all the events and activities that are going on. Now, it is different. It's different than, especially for children, than in the valley. There aren't the amazing jakes or these trampoline, places, and some of the things that are more indoor, laser tag, paintball, and all this stuff that's
we're just small town America up here, and we have what's coming up too, Chris, is the lighting at the Swiss Village.
Oh, Swiss Village lighting?
Yeah, the Swiss Village lighting annual event, been going on a long time. It'll be on the Friday right after Thanksgiving at the Swiss Village, and that's a big event.
It is. And there's an art show next weekend, Veterans Day weekend, Friday and Saturday. The Rim Country artists doing their autumn art festival That is a big event. And then, as you said, the Swiss Village lighting. And then this year, I know we're getting a little ahead, but it'll be here before we know it. It's next month, December. The Electric Light Parade is being expanded to be this winter wonderland. So Parks and Recreation is going to have an ice rink that they're setting up so people can go ice skating.
No kidding.
And it's an all-day event starting at 1 p.m. In Green Valley Park. Ice rink, pictures with Santa, vendors, and then there'll be a Christmas tree lighting at 5:30, and then 6 o'clock, the Electric Light Parade on Main Street.
Just to let you know too that I've been working on getting a shooting sports program up here in the north. It's through 4-H, and they have it down in the Globe area, and it's new and they're doing really great. They went to nationals and really did outstanding, and so I said I'd like to see that expanded up here into the northern part of the county. And so we already have a couple of people that are going to be helping with that, so it's on track for that. We'll be looking for that pretty soon. And shooting sports program involves learning how to shoot firearms and all of that, but I think what they use a lot of now is air rifles. But they're sophisticated, good ones, and so it's really great sport. And I think that just answers another one of those, what do we have for our kids to do? Well, here's another thing, and you can learn something wholesome, something good, keep them off of the streets doing mischief or whatever, and they've got a program to do, just another kind of a sport. And another thing I spoke with ADOT was to get some signs up in Pine, because if you know, Pine is just a 2-lane road going through there, and when they're having a festival up there, it gets very crowded, a lot of people, and so people are impatient with their driving, and they're passing on the right, they're going down the places where they shouldn't go. They're going to end up hitting people. So we're going to come up with some signs. We're going to end up with some speed flashing signs in Pine and Strawberry, both entrances and exits and stuff about please slow down. This is your speed, like they do in Star Valley, you know, and a few places around town. So we're going to end up with doing all of that stuff, and so that's going to help. That takes, it's funny, I have people ask me 2 years ago, can you look into it? And so it takes that long. I don't know why. But here we are, we're going to end up getting it, but it takes a couple years sometimes to get a project done.
So again, a lot happening, and if you want to find out more or have any questions about projects or things that are happening in the county, you can follow Steve Christensen on his Facebook page.
Yep, Supervisor Steve Christensen is my Facebook. You can also call my office, 928-474-7101. Now this is all on the Gila County website. So I also have an email, that'll be on the Gila County website. And so if you want to go to that, there's just an awful lot of information you can get. And of course we are early voting right now for the school override vote. And you can do that at our county facility. We have a drop box down there inside the lobby and also outside. And you can also mail it in. So I would encourage you to drop it off. You know why? Because it costs money to mail it. So when you mail it or drop it in the mail, that's fine if that's what you want to do. But then the county is impacted because we have to pay that postage. So if you can physically drop it off, we'll save $1 something each time.
Okay, there you go. And the county building right there on the corner of Concord and Frontier Street, across from the post office, and the drop box is on the northwest corner of the building.
Yeah, it is, and there's also one inside the lobby.
Oh, good.
If you feel better about that.
All right, great.
And there's places where you can vote there too. You can just go in and say, I want to vote.
Oh, okay.
And you can vote right there.
And you can vote inside. Wow,
yeah.
That's great to know. Well, it's 10:30 and time to get back to the music, but thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
For sharing, and thank you guys for listening and watching. As I said, time to get back to the music with some Redbone, Uriah Heep, Film Funk, and more. But first, let's hear from one of our sponsors. Alright, turn this off.